You're here. Kevin Carolan from Bailieborough in co.cavan. I don't know where to start really, but I want to get my story across. It's happening in probably every town in Ireland at the minute, but a Dublin family certainly looked after me years ago, work-wise, and I decided 2 weeks ago to come out my back door and stand beside this damaged family. And you all understand that no names will be given because it's under Garda investigation at the minute. But I went over anyhow. I spoke and I stood beside them, and I let the people of my hometown, Bailieborough, know what happened to me. People probably, when they seen it, would have been shocked, but it's called historical abuse. But at the end of the day, the dogs in the street knew what was happening in the little town of Bailieborough in County Cavan. Probably, 40 years ago. But it's not easy having to talk, but I feel now is my time to talk, because I feel I've been let down badly by a system. I've been let down badly by friends of mine. And when I say friends of mine, I don't know how and where to start. But 3 or 4 years ago in this town, there was a false allegation made against me. And that false allegation annoyed me because it was false. There was a Garda investigation. The Garda investigation took place, but no crime was committed. But yet, the people of my locality, they started talking. And when people start talking, it takes flight. I haven't been in court. I was never in a courtroom in my life. And furthermore, I hope I'm never in a courtroom in my life. I'm an honest man. I'm a genuine man. But a family in Bailieborough tried to damage me. They tried to bury me. It comes back to when the likes of the great Sean Quinn, and I went down to Bailieborough and I said to myself, I'm going to look at this man to see is he affected the way I was affected, to see is he hurt. And you know what? Sean Quinn put out his hand and he shook my hand. We spoke. Like when a parish priest in a locality invites the media into the church to talk about a man who created employment. There was an RTE documentary on and it said that Sean Quinn turned the lights on in Ballyconnell. That night in Ballyconnell, when I met Sean Quinn, he turned the lights on for me. Because I was enough and had enough of people talking about me. I had enough of people walking past me as if I was dirt on the footpath. A very, very genuine man told me not so long ago, and the words still sicken my mouth. It's just at the tip of my tongue at all times. A good deed can sometimes end up in a punishment. And that's what certainly happened to me. But I have to say one thing. I was never in court. I was never in front of a judge. I have no intention of ever being. But it's an awful true saying, a tongue can accuse and carry bad news. And unfortunately, it started at the bottom of the town of Bailieborough with a brick. And when you got to the top of the town, it was a block. But all I can say is there was always an elephant in the room with me. I was born and bred in Bailieborough in co.cavan, in Thomas Street, a little street off Main Street. But I was badly sexually abused. Badly done. And as I said earlier on in our interview here, the dogs on the street knew what was going on. But what I'm going to talk about here tonight is certainly not gossip. And what I'm going to talk about here tonight is certainly the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because what incited me to go to Bailieborough Garda Station and make a statement after I took the courage to say to my wife, Gail, who has been my rock from I met her that St. Stephen's night in the Bailey Hotel in Bailieborough, and probably me drunk. And tell my two wonderful daughters in our home, in our kitchen in Pine Grove. Wasn't easy, but I done it. And do you know what? My wife and two daughters and Gail's family decided to draw up their plan. And their plan was to stand beside me and help me. And they did it. And only for Gail and Coralie and Clara, I guarantee I wouldn't be here tonight in the lovely surroundings of Bailieborough. And we have a lovely society, but unfortunately we've people, and all they're good at is talking, and all that they're good for is gossiping, when they know nothing about what happened to me. I could write a book about this. Sean Quinlan wrote a book, but certainly I have no intentions of writing a book. I have no intentions whatsoever in writing a book. But I'm quite capable of doing one. I have to say that I was hurt by false allegations, by gossip. If you do something wrong, I don't mind. I'll hold my hands up. And I'll let the guards bring me into the courtroom and face a judge. But that didn't happen to me. But people jumped on the bandwagon. Friends of mine started talking. I don't mind. Now, I'm not doing this clip tonight for credit, for sympathy, or clap me on the back. I don't want that. I want to let the people know it's time that people start getting involved. And it's time for people to stop talking behind closed doors and come out. Because 2 weeks ago in Bailieborough town, the town I was born, bred and reared in, I said what happened to me. I didn't hold a tooth in it. I won't hold a tooth in it. Because I'm not hiding anything whatsoever. Anything I'm saying is the truth and nothing but the truth. And the reason I went to Bailieborough Garda Station 6 or 7 months ago to make a statement about me, about my childhood, I bought a house in the town of Bailieborough 29 years ago, right in the heart of the town. And we all know who Derry O'Rourke is. Derry O'Rourke walked past my house every single night for about 8 to 9 years. And I've been a tidy enough man around in my property because I'm proud of it. I'd be either sweeping or pulling weeds or do things to keep me head okay. I often think about my wife and my 2 daughters, about the way I carried on in the house, which was at times not that nice. But honestly, I couldn't help it because the wee man up there knocking all the time. But when you see a man walking on your footpath every night, when it be dark, this man had always come out of dark. It always brought back my bad, rotten memories. And I decided one day, because people was walking past me in my own town as if it was dirt. Family was against me. I said to myself one day in the room on my own, I said, I done nothing wrong here. And let Gail and Corey and Clara know. And make your move with the people who is paid to protect. And my move was over to Garda Síochána, the Garda station in Bailieborough. And I done it. I went over and they welcomed me with open arms. The young Donegal band Garda, we spoke about football, and then she was very much interested in what I had to say, and I said it. Then they wanted to get things up and running, and they did. And then we had to get some witnesses, which I had all of my... But they didn't want to get involved. And I would have had a lot who knew a lot. Like my wife would have been told by relatives probably more than I even know. But two detectives was involved and they went to the homes and they got no response. And they didn't want to get involved, or I understand where they're coming from. Listen, if they don't want to get involved, that's on their conscience. It's certainly not on my conscience anymore. But all I can say is my conscience is clear. And when your conscience is clear, you can go to bed every night and you can sleep. And you're not waking up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not anyway, because now I am going to sleep and my wife has to call me. But I have a great family in Gail and Corley and Clara. And I must say, the Riley family also. But I got involved with Charlie Board because me being outspoken and that, got involved in things, and I seen he was a hurt, sick man, and I wanted to get involved, and I did. I got involved with Ryan Tuberty. Great memories. Crow Patrick. Never forget it. Walking to the top of it. Come home then and have a good time and relax. I had major stomach operations. 5 in total. By Dr. Jerry McEntee in the Mater Hospital. But my GP always maintained that this stomach illness came from stress of the whole thing. And you know what? He could be right. He could be right. Because there was always an elephant in the room. But the elephant isn't in the room anymore. Because last Saturday morning, I stood on the streets of Bailieborough and I spoke. And I'm entitled to speak. And when I seen this wonderful Dublin family who arrived here a long time ago, and I done a work for them and they looked after me, I decided I'm going to stand with these people, and I did. And I will. Because it's about time that the system has to change. Because I made a statement on my abuse, and I wasn't telling a lie. My wife made a statement about me and what she heard from, we'll call them relatives. And my 2 great daughters made statements also. And then other people was approached and no statements. And the fella says they shut their mouths to the 2 detectives, and to make a long story short, the DPP came back to me with no case has been taken. Now, my argument here is I'm the victim. It was hard what I done. Very, very hard. And lots of people would know my temperament from places of work. Like, I'm not afraid to say it. My trade is a barman. My trade is a construction worker. And any job that employed me, I always climbed up the ladder a little bit into management. And I always regret that I was very hard on people at times, but that was the temperament in me, and it was probably over my abuse. But lads often came to me, not that long ago. I met a young lad in County Galway who was after setting up his business, and he met me in Galway also. And I actually couldn't believe it, what he said to me. He said, "Kevin, you put me on the right track. You were a hard taskmaster." That's what he called me. A hard taskmaster. It's a good statement, but I didn't want to be a hard taskmaster. But that's the way historical abuse put me. But I don't drink or smoke. I'm a happily married man. I have 3 great girls in my life. So I'm 55 years of age. So I'm well over halfway. But all I can say is anyone that has been abused, let it be in recent times or historical, don't go by me just because I was refused by the DPP. Just leave me aside. Go to your barracks and make your statement, because I'm going to tell you one thing: when you do that, the load is off your head. Now, I don't want to be classed here as a hero. I certainly don't want people coming to me and saying, "Well done, Kevin," because I don't want that. I want justice for young lads that's abused. What happened to me? And all I can say is, people who don't want to get involved, don't get involved. You're totally 100%. If you don't want to get involved, don't get involved. But all I can say to anyone, if they knew that something was wrong and something was going on, you must get involved. But unfortunately, in my situation, they wouldn't get involved. And I feel that the justice system in our country needs a total investigation. Like, I'm the victim. I made a statement. And then there's an organisation called the DPP that's able to pull the plug on 40 years of head torture. And I mean pure head torture. I done what I done in my hometown. I done what I done. But the hardest thing that I had to do was tell my wife and my 2 daughters. And I done it. And all I'm going to do here from now on is, as I said, I'm 55. I don't drink or smoke. My health is okay, but it's not great either at times. Like, if you have 5 stomach operations, but I have a great man in control of me, Dr. Jerry McEntee. But all I can say is I'm going to soldier on. I'm going to keep going. And from now on in, I'm going to stand beside people. And I mean genuine people who have been damaged.